Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to share with you my 2022 plan. My planners for 2022, this is a little bit overdue, probably a whole month as you can tell right now, but I want to document it before I change them because these were thrown together fairly quickly. I just added some 2022 inserts and worked with what I had before. So I do want to change that, so I figured let me just go ahead and do a video. And you may be hearing my voice. I'm getting over some kind of head cold, so I apologize for that. But let me go ahead and go through them. These are the two that I carry with me every day. I touch them and use them every single day. The first one I'd like to share with you is my calendar and my true planner. This is the Vanderspek Pink. I have some dividers here at the bottom that I find very helpful, and then I have my top dividers here. These are the page finders. So this is the Pink. I absolutely love this planner. It served me well. You can tell I still have my stock cards here. There's a back pocket. You've seen the Pink before many times. So this is my front dashboard. This is a Planner Society paper that I just put one of their ephemera on it, if you will. This is a vellum from the Planner Society. This is something that I've created. I folded. It's for February. And I printed it on vellum. This here is my daily, and I touch this particular dashboard or area every day. Here I have some mindful things I need to think about. I have something I call brain lint, not so much brain dump, but brain lint. Things I think about and I need to remember, so I put them here. This is a quick access metric system, just conversion tables and so on. Here is something I'm working on to review some software applications. So some comparative analysis. This is another acetate. This is from the Planner Society. You see it's double colored or double sided. This one is like a lavender. That's more of a silver. I have my Etsy tab here. So I have a small Etsy shop. I have inserts cheat sheet. It's nice to know how to shrink it before I print it for the different sizes. I have creativity notes. If I have a favorite color, I make sure I write down the recipe, if you will. And when I'm printing, when I'm cutting stickers or anything like that. Here is my brainstorming of some other inserts or things I'd like to create. So I write them here. Here is my orders and tracking numbers. This is a receipt section. And this journaling card is from the Planner Society kit. This is also order. This area of my planner is for school, for homeschooling. And this acetate is Planner Society as well. And these inserts I created because I wanted something to work for what I need for homeschooling. So I have a weekly schedule overview here, and you can see I prepare in advance the booklets with little paper clips of the page numbers that are going to be done for that day, what unit we're in, and what subject. You can see at the top here, and it makes it really easy for me to know how far we've gone and if we're behind. When we're done with that particular box, if you will, I just cross it horizontally. Here's another one. So I try to plan at least 2 weeks in advance. This is what it looks like when it's hasn't been filled in. Then I have each subject, and I created this, but this was my first try at it. And if you could see, is I noticed that when I was writing it out, really a unit, you could probably fit 2 units on one insert. So that's exactly what I did, but I may have to change these inserts to allow for 2 units to keep track of, because I only had enough for testing for the 1 unit. and you can see the start date and the end date for full unit in that subject, and then what chapters we covered. So the next section in this example would be like 702. And I have one for each subject so we know where we are, and I keep track of the grades and so on. This is what they look like when they're blank. This is where I keep track of the grades. This next area is my wish list. Here I have another list that I want to get, things I want to get. My next one is my teaching area. I'm teaching some technology courses, so I'm just keeping track of that. Some notes, scratch notes about that course. My next one is the calendar, and this is something else I tried for my shop, just a test sample. This is May and this is June. This is a calendar from Franklin Covey insert, which I really like, but I haven't figured out what to use it for yet. This is also Franklin Covey. My next one is, if you notice the monthly tab section in Franklin Covey, this is the compact size inserts, and this is the sandstone color, if you're wondering. So this one, I always keep the tabs of the prior months, because what I do is I compare the monthly overview with each month following it, and I'll compare sales, I'll compare spending, I'll compare work billing hours. There are many different things that I would compare. I would also write down wins for that particular month. I never look at defeats. You can look at them in a sense of wanting to improve, but in my opinion, I wouldn't write them down, because I write down my wins, and that's what I focus on. So I have this is September. Here, another thing I do is on the side, I always write my incoming funds, and then I have an outgoing section. So I can always compare, am I spending more than what I'm bringing in every month? And it may change, and this is a quick way to tell it. And I also added to the monthly overview here. And then again, my wins at the bottom. Cash in, cash out. Sometimes I also include, like, I started planting a small garden, so I'll write down, that's because I didn't have another place to keep it. I usually have a gardening planner, but I didn't have it with me, so I just jot them down right here. Same thing here. December, I'm actually coming up to do January overview, and then I'll be able to remove some of these to see. So this is January. I always have a little sticky note that carries over things that I can't track yet in future planning, so I'll just have that carry over, and when I reach that month, I'll just write it in it and scratch it off. This is January, and then for the daily pages, which I really like, it's day on 2 pages. You can tell this one was nothing was going on, but I started paying attention to gratitude and writing down gratitude. I started writing out tasks that I have to do. Here, you can see gratitude. Some days I didn't fill in anything, but then I wanted to get more serious about keeping track of my full days and what I'm doing. So I started breaking it down by, and I think I'll show you, I started breaking it down by home, work, and other. And then here I would have gratitude. So home, business, and other. And actually blocking the time out of the things that I spend time on, just so I could see when I look back. You can see I got more bold with the stickers and the washi tape, which I have so many of, and I really wanted to use it. So this was a way to make it happen. This is my today marker. And this is an affirmation that I have carried with me every day. I look at it, I try to say it at least once a day, which I really like it. Let me read it to you. It says, I was taught to work as well as play. Now my life is a happy holiday. Full of work and full of play. I dropped the worry on the way, and God was good to me every day. So as we're nearing the end of January, I have to do my monthly overview and then prepare for February. These are things that I just need to carry over to future months once I put in those dailies for that month. My next section is finance, and unfortunately I won't be able to share too much with you, but I will show you some. I do have a subscriptions insert that I created because I wanted to keep track of my subscriptions. So I have the item, the start and end date, the cost for it, what is it for, and then the website where I signed up. I also have some credit cards I want to pay off, so I just use a regular note page, and I marked it down to have all the payments, and then I'm trying to knock it out, but just continuously sending payments to it. And you can see here as well. This is our, excuse me, I'm about to sneeze. This is our monthly bills, so I keep track of that here, and then I highlight when they're actually paid off as auto pay. These are Franklin Covey inserts and monthly expense trackers. Same here. Now, in this section, I have some home inserts that I want to create. So two of my blinds need to be replaced thanks to my dogs, and so I had to write down or measure those particular blinds. I only had two, so I said, since I'm replacing the blinds anyway, let me see if I can measure the rest of the blinds in the house and see if there are different sizes, so I can always have one on hand. Come to find out, they're all the same size, which is good for me. This is home project records. And then I have a law of attraction register, which is really, I think, what you think you create. And so if you think about a particular something and it happens, I actually want to keep track of it so I can get better at it. Things that are not tracked can be measured. So if I track it, I know that I'll be able to affect it. Or just to pay attention to all the blessings, right? All the gifts that I get. So and I'm not talking about literal gifts, I'm talking about universal gifts. So I would write it down here. And I just have a few test prints. This is the 7 Habits package it comes with the package of the sandstone inserts, which I love. I like to have that in. This is another vellum with the monthly inserts that I showed you earlier. This is for February 22nd, and it's gold foiled. I have, this is the values and the vision section with the Franklin Covey package. This is the goals, which I need to still fill these out. I mean, I haven't done any of that I do usually for beginning of a year. This is another acetate. This is a Planner Society paper. Now, another thing for this year is, I know a lot of ladies, what they do is they have like a verse type of, where they go in and they read certain verses that have to do with a certain subject within the Bible. And to me, I think that's taken out of context a little bit, the verses themselves. One of the things I want to do, and I haven't read the full Bible in quite a few years, and I want to do that again, but I want to read it within context, which obviously makes a difference. So I started reading it. I'm keeping track of it here, so I can go through the Old Testament and the New Testament in context from beginning to end. This is another acetate. Planner Society kit, of course. Now, this is one of the I guess you could say affirmation cards I created. This is everything is always working out in my favor, which is one of my favorite quotes. And I cut it down. It's not meant to be cut down, but I cut it down. This is what it looks like before. This is another example. And it quotes Neville Goddard. If you want to blow your mind and really learn something that we haven't been taught before, I would definitely recommend listening to Neville Goddard audibles, audios on YouTube. You could find them, some of his old lectures, which at first, I know when I first listened to it, I was like, it's a little crazy. But then when you put it to the test, it cannot be denied. So imagination is the only weapon against reality, and then I include the excerpt and the book from Neville Goddard. And this is another quote from him here. And this one, I am healthy, wealthy, and wise. And this is another one here. So the next section is, someone asked me to create a custom for realtors, transaction coordinators. And so I don't know anything about the real estate industry. So I asked several questions and let them test it. And the idea behind these is to keep track of any realty transactions that this transaction coordinator would have. And in it you can see I have the MLS number, the date that it started, what type of realty transaction it is, the realtor it came from, the client's name, and then email and the property address, and then the status of it, and then any notes will be written here. So just to show you what it would look like, this is some test papers. Now I'm not going to share the client's information here or the MLS numbers, but the date it started, the type that it is, and then all the steps that had to be done. Here's another example. Again, I blocked out some of it. After she used it for a little bit, it looked like we needed a couple of additional fields. So I added a closed on date section or field, and then whether she was paid or not. So I need to print, I need to cut these out and put them in a planner. But I think they're adorable. They came out adorable. This is another acetate from Planner Society kit. Same thing with this. And then this is the contact section that comes with Franklin Covey. So this is it for my everyday carry calendar planner. Now the next planner I carry with me is, let me put this away, is this. And this is the Vanderspek Stardust. And it's beautiful and smooth, and I love it. I already messed it up a bit. I have some ink here because I use fountain pens in this pen mostly. This is a Planner Society kit charm clip. But how do I use this? This is what I call my sandbox. Some ladies have something called inbox. Some ladies have what they call commonplace notebooks. This is my sandbox. In software development world, a sandbox is where developers go to create their new software, to test it, to play around with data, etc. So I like to call it a sandbox. And anything goes in this notebook. I cannot mess it up. You can see I watercolored some things. I have some recipes in here, which I eventually transferred to a recipe planner. I love the way this paper sounds. I write down anything. Sometimes I just want to scribble, and that's what I do here. And I will just use it until it runs out of room. And then I'll put it on a shelf and I will refer to it back to see what I was thinking or doing. And it allows me to use my stickers and washi tape, of course. And you can see here some of my fountain pens test out. And that's it. That's what I use this one for. I don't have very much left to go, but I love it. So this is my sandbox. It goes with me. If I have very long notes to take in a meeting, I would use this versus my other one. But that's it. I wanted to share with you. Hopefully I'll be back with another video once I'm done setting this back up, or maybe even switching planners altogether. I don't know. But thank you so much for joining me and for watching, and have an amazing day ahead. Bye.